And I'm a planner by profession. I studied geography and history. And I'm now a planner for 30 years. And maybe I should add or begin with that I was asked in 2004, so 11 years ago, to become the head of the urban planning department of the city. So I have been head of the planning department of the city of Amsterdam for 10 years. And afterwards, now I'm a researcher, but I'm still practicing it. And I want to share with you, and that will be the end of my presentation, what I'm doing at this very moment. I'm building a people's industry palace in Amsterdam. And it's like this, but then for at least 500,000 citizens, and I think I will reach for 1 million next year. And maybe we'll be there. You should join. And hope you will see it. But that's the People's Industry Palace. That will be the last part. Maybe I should start with my thinking. So they asked me in 2004 to rethink planning. Because also in Amsterdam there were some mistakes and there were troubles, some with the new metro and political problems. And they had the idea that the planning machine was failing. So this is how I started. But this is, as you all know, Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam region. I work on a regional level, so 2.5 million inhabitants. It's 2.5 million. It's like this. I'll skip this. When I entered the office, city administration was producing this. They wanted to start a kind of city marketing campaign. And the work they did for this city marketing campaign was brilliant. Here you see all the identities of Amsterdam. So a city has many, many identities. Right? And as you can see, it is a SWOT. So in some identities, everybody knows Amsterdam as a city of sex, drugs, rock and roll, right? But nobody knows Amsterdam as a city of conferences and science and that kind of thing. Also not really a residential city, it's something different. So you see here a SWOT. So included also an ambition. We want to work on new identities. Identities, it's plural. And I thought, that is brilliant. So a city has many identities, and we need a kind of SWOT, who we want to be, who we are, how other people see us, because this was, of course, people from outside looking at us, and you have to know how they see you in order to understand who you are. And then you can formulate an ambition. This is what I want to be in the future. But this is only paper. So then I said, this is working material. As planners, we should work on this. But how? How? And then one day, I woke up and I thought, I make a story. I make a story on the future of the Amsterdam region based on this SWOT analysis. With all these new identities, but also these existing identities in it. So my story had 20 chapters. All these identities. And I was building it layer after layer in a map. This is the last slide of my presentation. Now, I started telling it on the 17th of January 2006. I remember the day. It was a 20-minute story I told. There was an audience of 300 people. I told the story about the future of the Amsterdam region. And guess what happened afterwards? People giving me feedback. So, telling me, that's great, I know it is. Other people said, I know something better. Or a third person, that will not gonna work. All these kind of things. So afterwards, I really was amazed. I thought, really, really. Next day, phone call, City Hall. You told a story, we heard you told a story. Can you tell it in City Hall again? Yeah, of course. So 1 week later, for the civil servants at City Hall, a group of 25, I told the story again, second time. And then again, of course, these people at City Hall, you know that much, because they gave me again feedback. And then I knew it. I should add all this feedback in my story. So from that moment on, the story started growing. The story became more intelligent with the help of audiences. And I told this story 70 times for an audience of in total more than 2,000 citizens. And I wasn't just invited, I didn't. And it was really a crowd in the end. I was standing in theaters, canteens, wherever, in the region. I was invited at factories, in the company. So my story improved and became more intelligent. And then I read this book by James Surowicz, this New Yorker, The Wisdom of Crowds. Yeah, of course, that's the internet. And then I understood that what I was doing was like the software of Wikipedia, how it functions. From that moment on, I studied software of social media and bring them offline, not online, offline. And I discovered that it is far more powerful than online. And that this means that the planning or the developing your city becomes mass amateurization. And also what I discovered is that the planning becomes far more intelligent than we did in the past with all those experts. I'm also an expert. Of course, it was not easy for me to admit that the crowd, that the citizens are far more intelligent than me. And also very difficult for my colleagues, of course, at the planning department. So this is what I learned in 2006, 2007. Now, because of this storytelling, because it is storytelling, at City Hall, the City Council decided, we hear all kinds of conversations about the future of the city. We need a new plan. Okay, they woke up. And we got an assignment to produce a plan, a long-term vision. And then we said, now we know how to do it. So not at my department. We are going to, we will not prepare a plan. We will do it with the help of all the citizens. Not all, of course, but with a crowd, a big crowd. So this is what we produced. We made a Free State of Amsterdam. The Free State of Amsterdam lasted only 6 weeks. in these 6 weeks we had 5,000 citizens in the Free State. And they all contributed, like you this day. But then 5,000. And we aggregated everything we heard. So my planners and designers were only listening 6 weeks long. It was really an exercise, just to listen and to bring everything we heard every day and make clouds of it. So to understand what the citizens were saying. Of course, the citizens will only come if it is inspiring for them. So what we did is we produced a magazine, Dreaming About the City. And the national newspaper, Parole, it was a special magazine edition, so more than 100,000 copies all over the country, but especially the region. And it was 48 pages about the future, dreaming about the future of Amsterdam. It was all about the future. With the help of many artists and designers, we made it, and journalists. And it was published just before the Free State opened. And it was this space, a vacant office building near the city center, and we made an exhibition. And this exhibition lasted for 6 weeks. And I asked 10 designers to make models of parts of the region, of the Amsterdam region. No plans, but stories. And all these stories were about all different themes, you name it, and also all possibilities. That when people entered the exhibition, they started thinking, because they could understand these stories, and then they started contributing. Just to show you, like this, these kind of models, these models. And every night there were meetings, gathering around the models, and that we really had crowds in it and discussing everything, and nothing got lost. So everything we noted. While preparing the Free State, Dutch television decided to make a documentary on it. So we got a 55-minute documentary about the future of the Amsterdam region in this globalizing world. With Saskia Sassen and Richard Florida telling the story, because actually it is a story viewed by more than 1 million people. So you have to generate this wisdom of crowds and to attract as many people as possible. So in the end, in the 6 weeks, we had these 5,000 people all contributing like you did this morning. And then 2 months later, we had the long-term vision. There it was. It's easy. It's wonderful. In city council, okay, we had to wait for elections. And after the elections, we had a new city council, and of course it took some time because democracy, the way we have democracy, also in your country, I guess, it takes a long time. But then there was the big meeting. Here was the plan. No vote against. There was no discussion. Well, there was a dialogue that lasted 5.5 hours, and it ended with a standing ovation for the vision. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. So it was really, we could not believe that this happened. And this whole vision was that detailed and that rich and powerful. And people really believe. They feel part of the story. That's how it works. So, of course, it's only a story. I will not get into that. So, planning is very easy if you do the storytelling and work with mass immaterialization. Of course, politicians don't like it, do not trust it, I know. And my deputy mayor, he still cannot believe. So we were awarded by the International Society of Urban and Regional Planners. I flew with my deputy mayor to China to have this award, and then I had a conversation with him, and then he asked me, "What was it now?" he still didn't understand what happened. So he was really living in a different world. He's right. It's something strange and new, but if you understand the internet, how it works, then you understand. So the wisdom of crowds, it's 3 things you need. The first one, so you can remember, only 3 things. The one is a diverse crowd. So citizens, that's a diverse crowd. That's why it works in city. Second is independence. So no consensus, please, no. You do not need consensus. If there is independence, people feel free and they can contribute. They are all individuals with their own thoughts, their own dreams, their own experiences, and it is very important that they all share these kind of things. Without influencing and without the necessity to have something of a common ground. But there is a common ground, but it's not consensus. And the third one is decentralization. You can do it only on a local level. Because you need reality, content. Concrete issues, real in reality, and also experiences, what worked, what did not work, all this kind of knowledge you need. So wisdom of crowds works on a local level, no consensus, not selecting the best, it's over. No competitions, no challenges. Everything is valuable. Is necessary for the total. So instead of selecting, aggregating everything. No, not selecting, but aggregating everything. And as many people, and the biggest diversity you need. So, then you can produce very, very intelligent visions for the future. And it starts with knowledge. And it is, we professionals have a problem. We work with abstract knowledge, statistics, maps, it's all abstract. While this knowledge of citizens is very concrete. These are really the real things. So you should add it. So it's not forbidden to use with statistics, but it's not the reality. You need more. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's really a discovery, and I didn't know that. And now we have the internet. Now we can work with it. So after this experience, I'm now working on this project. Now try to reach for the whole region. And this is about the future economy of the Amsterdam region, of this 2.5 million people. And it's an experiment. It's just, I want to know. And I want to reflect on it, but I also want to do it. It's called Volksvlag. Volksvlag is an old Dutch word, and it refers to a palace. We built a palace, the People's Industry Palace, in the 19th century. But it burned in 1929. The example was the Crystal Palace in London, 1851. Joseph Paxton, this huge building of glass and steel, and an amazing exhibition, or the first world exhibition about the future economy of the British Empire. Right? So there was a man in Amsterdam, inspired. He went to, of course, he was one of the 16 million who went to London to see these things. And Sarfati, he came back and he was that inspired. He said, Amsterdam should have also a crystal palace. So he built one. He crowdfunded one. It was crowdfunded, 100%. And it was erected. In 1864 it was opened. It was the biggest building of Amsterdam at that time. And people felt very proud. And it was a huge exhibition space, showing the next economy of Amsterdam region. And I told you the building is no longer there, but people, the citizens still remember. It's a great story. So I started in October 2014. I said, I will gonna rebuild a palace, Paleis Volksvlag, the palace. And all the citizens thought, wow, this is an inspiring idea. And I said, I will open it on the 12th of April 2016. Nobody believed me, I said, disbelief. I will do it. I don't know how, but I will. You need a deadline. Always you need a deadline. You need a story in order to activate citizens. And you need a deadline. Yeah? The deadline should be realistic, but also there should be, you need attention. Wow, really? Are you sure? That makes it exciting for many people. Why do I want to open it in 2016 in April? Because the Netherlands will be president of the European Union in the first half of 2016. So the next president of the EU will be the Netherlands. And the Dutch government decided to have all the meetings in Amsterdam. Wow. And it will be on the former Navy Yard. It's an island, artificial island in the city center. I thought, wow, this is great. And then the Dutch government wants something in a period. There should be, of course, with some pomp and circumstance, an urban agenda for the European Union. The 30th of May, there will be this ceremony. There will be an urban agenda for the EU. So the Austrian commissioner started with it, but it will be there. So what the EU wants with cities, we will know in Amsterdam it will be announced on the 30th of May. I thought an urban agenda, what cities can mean, I want to be there. So I will open my palace somewhere in the neighborhood of the Navy Yard. So that's what I told. And then it was again storytelling, and I said I have no money. Very important. So that means I have no power. Once you say you have no power, people will help you. If not, if you say I'm very powerful, then it will not work. So this is also an ingredient of this approach. And from that moment on, people started helping me. And I have found my palace. I have it. I'll show you. Oh, this is the old palace. Yeah. I just took that was the building, right? Can you imagine that citizens still remember this beautiful building? So they want it back. It is their dream. It's a wonderful dream. So it's very inspiring. So this is it. It's the new public library of Amsterdam. That's why I like your conversation this morning about your library. I've seen it this morning, the building. 8 years old, 7 floors. It's an amazing building. It's really great. It's the best building we have. Because it's 100% multicultural. All the citizens make use of this building. It's really open, and it's all digitalized. The books will not be read anymore, but all the young people are working on computers. And also there is a restaurant in it, and there is a conference hall, and everything in this wonderful building. So they offered me this building as a kind of pop-up palace. Yeah? And I got it for free. And I can open it on the 12th of April, and I will close it on the 4th of July. So then I could really start. I invited 12 designers. Architects, graphic designers, artists, whatever, theater makers, 12. Young, old, from everywhere, but at the Amsterdam, based in the Amsterdam region. Because you always need artists. Of course, you need artists because they are open-minded. And you need open-minded people. And of course, for practical reasons, I want to make an exhibition in my palace about the future economy of the Amsterdam region. And artists should make this exhibition. But they have to collaborate with citizens. That's what I asked. So I'm not the client. At first they thought I'm the client. No, I'm not. And I could not offer them any money. I just asked them to help me to build this exhibition. And no one said no. All 12 made a start. In the meantime, I found money. So now they get paid for it. But I have to admit, when I started, I could promise nothing. And I could also not tell what the assignment was. I only asked them 12 subjects, 12 economic domains, the world of food, the world of logistics, the world of tourism, the world of entertainment, the world of health and well-being, the world of ecology, so I had 12 worlds, and they should explore these worlds. with citizens, with the help of citizens. That's what I asked. So we're having now open studios where hundreds of people, citizens, contribute, helping these artists to prepare the exhibition, right? Just to prepare it. Because the exhibition itself will be produced by the citizens. That's what I want. While doing this, there is a buzz going around in the city. There's something happening. The palace will be coming. They are building an exhibition. I can contribute. So last week I had an open studio again. Again, 150 people like you, helping the artists to prepare the exhibition. So, well, it works like this. All over the place, every floor of the public library, we're thinking about discussing, we're having wonderful conversations, and all these conversations about the future of food, production and food consumption in the Amsterdam region. And everybody is thinking. On the other table, they're all thinking about the future of media, mediatization, what is happening with... and the other is all talking about digital futures of the region. And also, every studio is a different part of the region. So 6 in Amsterdam itself and 6 in the region. So all discussing. Yeah. So the palace will open. And I'm crowdfunding. In the meantime, I get money, and partnerships. Now also companies. I start a school, programs for primary schools in the palace. So all the primary schools of the whole region will go to the public library next year. And all these kids will think about their future. That's what's going to happen. And a busy program of all conferences in the palace, these 12 weeks long. So in this building, on a daily basis, 5,000 people are coming. So in 12 weeks' time, that makes 420,000 people. I have them in my palace. I will have them. Plus, all the school children, the civil servants from the European Union, 25,000. You name it. They all will be there. And then everybody can see, but also experience how a city can develop itself, how it can develop the next economy. That is what I'm after. I'm sure this economy will be very sustainable. Very sustainable. It will not be self-sufficient, of course, but I'm very hopeful. And the most important thing is that it is 100% inclusive. Because if I reach for all the primary schools in the whole region, I really get a crowd. And the exhibition will be really for the public. So kids should understand and enjoy the exhibition. That's what we want. So the whole ground floor of this will be the one huge scale model of the whole region, scale 1 to 1,000. About the future. You will see the future as if it is a kind of World Expo. And the fun is everybody is contributing. So every city can do this. You can do it. And I call this the platformization of society, platformization of cities. And it's very powerful.